Star Trek Starfleet Academy went belly up with huge expenses and almost no fans. It's another example of Hollywood's constant battle against conservatives, blowing up the entire industry. To the point, now the studios can't even afford to show off new movies at film festivals. TV ratings are falling, streaming subscriber growth crawling. And now, when Hollywood asks for more tax breaks, oh please, more tax breaks, from red states, they're being told no. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what a beautiful day, what a wonderful day to spend time together. We're alive, and what a treasure that is. So let's dive into the latest news and find out what's going on across our wonderful world, and even in the weird, strange world of Hollyweird. Folks, as we dive in, click the like button and take a look at this. It's out of Reddit. It's an image of Starfleet Academy back when it was being built. You know this show, right? Star Trek Starfleet Academy, the show where the action figure of Spock was put up by Nerdrotic and had more views than the actual show itself, because the show itself should have been shelved from the very get-go. You know the show. You know the show that had millions and millions and millions of dollars put into the budget by Paramount, and without a doubt was pulling something like 40,000 views per episode, less than a typical YouTube video on Fake Wizard's account. Well, folks, the accounting is here. And as we look at this image, what is it? Well, back when they were building this, this was the biggest set in North America. But it wasn't the biggest set in the United States. Why? Because this was not filmed in the United States. Because there's been a battle royale against red states, and in particular Georgia, like we covered earlier this week. And now things are falling apart for all of the studios, all of the companies. Their battle against conservatives is crashing. From Trek Central, it says sets are being torn down. Along with Starfleet Academy, it seems the sets for the Captain Pike series are being taken down as well. De-rigging of the sets is already underway, according to a crew member. Year one looks unlikely at this point. All of Star Trek collapsing. Starfleet Academy done for, right? We've already been told that it's canceled. But look at these beautiful, amazing sets. Were you thinking they'd bring them back? Well, they might, but probably not. Those biggest sets in all of North America, but not America, because they can't film in America. We'll explain why in a minute. All of those beautiful, wonderful sets, folks, being torn down now. And maybe they'll put them back up for future filming, but boy, that's going to cost them a lot. But all of those sets being torn down. You can see it right here, right now. Look at that. Out of threads, being torn down. Now, why is this happening? Why did Starfleet Academy fail? And why did they move it into places like Canada? Why is Hollywood escaping, going to other places? Not in the United States. What is going on? We know why they have to escape California. But what if I told you they played a game? They gambled with the red state of Georgia and other conservative states as well, and treated them very badly. Out of the Hollywood Reporter by Winston Cho. This is going to show you, folks, it wasn't just on the end of producing content for a very select crowd. It was also making sure they made the content in very specific places that punished the rest, not in the very select crowd. This is the article by Winston Cho. It says, states are spending billions of dollars courting Hollywood. Are they actually creating local jobs? Now, you remember earlier in the week, we talked about how Hollywood had milked the state of Georgia, apparently, soaked them. And as soon as the state of Georgia said, hey, we'd like to have fair elections here, Hollywood said, screw you, we're out of here. And they headed for the UK, for Canada. That's where Starfleet Academy was filmed, right? But when they left there, what happened? Well, we told you in the prior video that the state of Georgia was giving them something like 80% of just cash given to them, with only 20% of that actually being put into production in Georgia. That's 80%. That was $4 out of $5 billion. $4 billion given by the state of Georgia to the entertainment industry. No strings attached. Free cash. And because of politics, they left. They left. They were getting it. Daddy Warbucks was paying them free money. And because of politics, they left. And they thought they would punish Georgia. In fact, it's backfired on them spectacularly with productions like Starfleet Academy, which can no longer afford to be done in Canada. Here's the article. Findings from economists about film subsidy programs are almost universally negative. It's a race to the bottom with negligible economic benefits for the state where the biggest winner is Hollywood. Let me say it again. These companies, these studios doing the things like Starfleet Academy soaked the places they went to And then when the places they went to, which were being essentially abused by the studios, when those places said, hey, this is not cool, and by the way, we're not going to vote the way you say we must, then Hollywood got up, left them in the dust, took all of their cash, and went off to other countries. And the problem for Hollywood? They went belly up, and now they're begging their way back, and they can't get back. It says, consider Oklahoma in 2023. The state was having its film moment. Major productions have been flocking to the region as it poured more and more money into its rebate program. The subsidies lured reservation dogs. Taylor Sheridan's Tulsa King followed, as did Twisters. An inflection point came when Martin Scorsese's Killer of the Flower Moon rolled into town. The production transformed a northern Oklahoma City to double as 1920s Fairfax, where the killings at the center of the $200 million epic occurred. Carpenters, set decorators, and landscapers among the other crew were hired for the makeover. The thinking for the financial incentives is that the state will see a major boost to its local economy by hosting big-budget movies and TV shows. But a report published on Wednesday that we covered right here, evaluating how effective film subsidies are at creating local employment, said that only 30% of the $100 million Oklahoma sees in production spend each year goes to in-state workers in the form of wages. In other words, only 30% of that which Oklahoma gave, which is more than the 20% or 19% that Georgia gave, only 30% for Oklahoma came back. Now, how did that happen? Because what Hollywood did is they said, give us your yummy, nummy tax incentives. We hate you. We don't like you. You're flyovers, but give us your money. You rubes, you rednecks, give us your money. Money, 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 money. And then, once the money was given to them, they flew in all their people. They didn't hire Oklahomans. They didn't hire people from Georgia. They flew in their peeps, transient positions, and then sent them back out to California and other places. It says some industry hotspots with relatively low local hires compared to the amount they given financial incentives. Ontario at 86%, which is where, again, Starfleet Academy is being torn apart right now. New Mexico, 82%. Australia, 82%. Georgia, 72%. And Hungary, 68%. A few of these film hubs share structural issues related to rapid production growth, outpacing local workforce development. But guess what? Georgia is certainly not one of those. And it goes on to talk about this. It says, for years, Georgia sold its filming subsidy as an investment in middle-class jobs and marketed itself as Hollywood of the South. It was the home of Marvel Studios and other tentpoles like The Suicide Squad, Creed 3, Bad Boys for Life, etc., etc. And it only saw a return of 19 cents in tax revenue for every dollar, free money they gave to Hollywood. Free money. And what did Hollywood do with it? Well, as they left and then went to these other places and eventually gave up on places like Georgia, red states. No more of you red states, and I'll show you that in just a second. Get ready for the graph. Get ready for the chart. You already see it? Yep, I'll show it to you. I'll explain. But they headed for the UK. They headed for Australia. They headed for Norway. They headed for Canada. And they did that because they disagree with the politics. But they also disagree with the politics, and that's how you get movies and shows like what we've seen, like The Bride, right? Like Ella McKay, right? Like Tron Ares, right? Like Snow White, right? That's how you get shows like Star Trek, Starfleet Academy. And all of this stuff is in the pipeline now for the next 2 or 3 years. And they're done for. Only the films like Project Hail Mary and Mario Brothers are saving the entertainment industry at all right now. And they're complete anathema to everything that Hollywood wants to do. Look at this. This is so amazing to me. The industry is collapsing. The Hollywood Reporter has the top U.S. states for film and TV production. You need to understand, this is in free fall. Okay? But the free fall is the exodus of Hollywood to other countries because they disagree with everything in the red states, but they can't afford to be in the blue states. And so everything is being moved overseas. The problem is now that's becoming unaffordable because the stuff Hollywood's making is not what Americans want to see, nor the world. Look at this. Right now in California, for quarter 4 of 2025, they had 71 TV and movie films being made. Now, the problem is that California has dropped more than 50% in the last 5 years. And yet, even dropping 50%, they were down an extra 20%. Down an extra 20% Q5 to the prior. How much was being spent in California on entertainment? $1.3 billion. New York, down 31%. Excuse me, up 31%. Good job, New York. Up 31% with 63 being filmed at just $1 billion. New Jersey. New Jersey? Folks, can I tell you something? Georgia was the number one I believe it was in 2024, Georgia was the number one place for film productions. Either 24 or 23, Georgia was number one. Look what they've done. Georgia is below Jersey. How did that happen? Reminder, Georgia was giving them free money. Money. Georgia was giving them free money. 80% of the money that Georgia gave them, they didn't have to spend in Georgia. It was just free money. Do whatever you want with it, Georgia said. Just come over here and film with us. You don't have to spend anything. Bring in your Hollywood types and get out of here. We don't even care. Just give us your money, or we'll give you our money. Georgia's now number 4, and it's the only red state on the list. Georgia is now down to 20. Remember, Georgia was bigger than California just a few years ago. But because Georgia didn't vote the way they wanted it to, Georgia dropped another 31%. After having dropped, we reported earlier this week, in the last few years, dropping about 50%. And now Georgia is minuscule compared to California and New York. The rug was pulled out from underneath Atlanta. But can I tell you something, folks? As you look again, one more time, okay? Look what they did. The biggest sets in North America. Did it go to Georgia where they were getting 80% free money? Billions of dollars of free money? Did they build this thing in Atlanta? Did they build this in Atlanta? Are they destroying this in Atlanta? No. Everything is overseas, but they can't afford it. Because for politics, they chose unaffordable places to go. And now, they can't even afford to show off their movies at film festivals. This is also out of the Hollywood Reporter. Just breaking. Can just confirm Hollywood studios' growing fear of film festivals. Well, why would they be afraid of film festivals? Lily Ford says when the studios are less present in Cannes, they're less present, full stop, said artistic director Thierry Fremont. Is it Fremont? At the top of the lineup announcement on Thursday. Cannes unveiled its 2026 lineup on Thursday. Its star power juiced up by beloved international auteurs Pedro Almodovar. I put the wrong syllable there. It's on the O. Hirokazu Koreeda and Ashghar Farhadi. And while there is some prominent Hollywood talent such as Sebastian Stan and Renate Ronsvay for Christian Moon's Fjord, boy, good luck on these words, pro. Gillian Anderson and Hannah Einbinder for Jane Schonbrun's I Give Up. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I can't. What is this? Where are the studios? It says Steven Spielberg's disclosure day at Universal was never a sure bet. And the Hollywood Reporter definitely wasn't feeling too hopeful about Tom Cruise's Digger or Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. The same goes for Disney and the hotly anticipated Toy Story 5. Folks, they're not showing movies at the film festivals. Why? Why? Can I tie all of this together for you? Because we've been a little bit all over the place, right? But if you're hanging with me, it's about to make sense. Remember, we got to build the biggest sets for shows and movies that people are not going to watch. We're going to tear them down because nobody's going to watch them. And guess what? We're going to make them in places we can't afford because we refuse to film them in red states where they're giving us literally free money to be there. And the result, ladies and gentlemen, is we can't afford to even go to film festivals anymore for 2 reasons. 2 reasons, Lily Ford. Reason number 1, when you're losing money badly, except on things like Project Hail Mary and Mario, which they despise. They hate the things, right? It's the manosphere in Bowser. They can't stand these films. But those are the only things that make money because they're appealing to whom? To the mainstream middle, the sensible center. Hollywood is none of that. So if you show your films at a film festival, what happens? If you show your shows at a display before it's time, before it comes out to the public, what happens? The public finds out what's in it that's detestable, and then they won't go see it even more so. That's what happened with Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. Remember that? 2 months of negative reviews out of the film festival. Because not even the Frenchies, like how woke Hollywood has become. So there's a danger there. But the other thing they can't afford, financially, when you're losing money, nonstop on all this stuff, financially, they can't afford the rollout of all the glitz and glamour. They can't go to these places anymore, right? Versailles? Bye-bye, Versailles. We can't do it. It says, it's also worth remembering that not every movie has been announced yet, with artistic director, whoever he is, likely to confirm some later editions in the coming weeks. That said, the recent studio tent poles to play at Cannes were announced in advance of the main selection press conference. Goes on to talk about, just how amazing things were back in the day. Tom Cruise and Paramount came 2 years ago for Mission Impossible and Top Gun. Besides, the studio in Los Angeles does exist, and this selection will be testimony, blah, 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 blah. Says, historically, screening at Cannes and other film fests have always been a mixed bag for the studios. The Croissant undoubtedly boasts the most glamorous red carpet on the planet, with big stunts garnering serious buzz. Talking about jets flying past the Palais. Well, guess what? No more. No more. Why? Because they can't afford it. Because when you're not making money, you can't go to Cannes anymore. Why can you not afford it anymore? Because you made stuff people don't want to see. Hey, Starfleet, talking to you. You bought in the message. Hey, Kurtzman, talking to you. You're not making money, and you're not making these things in places that were literally giving you free money to do so. And so Hollywood has forfeited their ability to operate any longer, except on a shoestring budget. Those diamond-crested swimming pools suddenly starting to lose their luster, and the Hollywood Hills no longer the real estate magnate location that people just have to be in. Folks, that's the video for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it makes sense. Hope we bundled it together for you. One more time, a run through. Look at the biggest set made in Canada. Look at it in all its shiny glory. Torn down by the fact they don't want to make it where they can make money, and they don't want to make it in a way that will make money. They're too devoted to themselves, except now they're losing viewership, money, and ultimately power, only serving themselves. Folks, click that like button, share, subscribe, and stick it. Click it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a groovy weekend. Folks, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Oh no. Lawrence gonna be sad again. He's texted me last night about how bad the Odyssey's gonna be. That guy needs a pick-me-up.
Ah, Lawrence feeling down in the dumps again, huh? Sounds like he's feeling forlorn. Nice setup, Floral.
Wilton, don't you have a bridge to haunt or something? Leave Lorne alone. He's not even here to deal with your nonsense.
Well, 'cause he's all alone. There's no one there beside him. I bet he's just lamenting about his boring life. You know, he probably needs WDW Pro to give him some good news. Like that Jonas was fired.
You're a pest, you know that? Lorne's fine. He's probably just, like, nervous or something. He's not sulking or anything.
Sulking? Oh, actually, he's probably just languishing. Picture it. Lorne staring at the movie screen, lamenting that he has to be there. And then the film ends, and like a Christmas ornament that fell off a tree, he's shattered.
You're weird.
You know, I should troll the WDW Pro comments that Lawrence so down his... Wait a minute. Lawrence so down, he's practically Lawrencescape art.
Yeah, and I'd be thrilled if you'd leave and do that. For a few hours. Actually, it'll help Pro in the algorithm by you leaving comments, or noise, or whatever, on all of Pro's videos.
Noise? I am a maestro of mirth. Lawrence, my new canvas. Like a mom folding laundry. Oh, that one sucked.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go check out the next TPP article and get launched into the stratosphere of information. Nobody wants to be lonely. Everybody hurts sometimes.